everybody, Joe from Joe's Computer Museum, and we got, what's your name?
Oh yeah, it's John from John's Arcade. No,
Got
it's
it.
it's
Got it.
Ron from Ron's Computer
That
Videos.
guy. Oh man, I've
That's
heard about
me.
that guy. I don't know about him.
Hopefully it's all good stuff, but it's the internet, so probably not.
Yeah, Twitter.
Yeah.
So we're here today to talk together and talk with you and share with everybody what we think about Marcintosh for 2021, the first year of Marcintosh. We just wanted to dig in, do a recap, go over everything, and see where we are and see where we can be in the future for Marcintosh next year. So, where do you want to start, Ron?
It's like with anything. It's like, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? I say that we start, and maybe let's talk like a recap of kind of
Sure.
how this year went, like maybe what some of our successes were.
Absolutely. Well, looking at all of the basically the number of videos that are on the hashtag on YouTube, 164 videos tagged Marcintosh, over 77 channels. We have a
I know.
huge swath of content out there from a diverse set of contributors, young kids, old people. Old people? Is that
Well,
gauche? Older people? Well, I have gray hair.
I
call
feel
it
like an old
qualified.
person at this point, so
But
it's
across the whole, folks who have well-established channels, folks who have five subscribers across the board, everybody just putting it out there and showing, hey, so the Mac is awesome and we love it, so come join us, won't you? I
yes.
really did like that. There's also a lot of traction I saw on both Twitter and Instagram. Retroviator, I'm not sure how he says his name exactly, has been doing a lot of stuff over on Twitter and stuff. And Chimes.wave is one of the folks, Nash I think is his name, over on Instagram, posting a lot of stuff. So yeah, I think it's really been a big success. If we were comparing it to some of the, not to compare it so much to some of these other events, but when you're looking at December, it got 229 videos for its first year, a little bit more than Marcintosh, but on par. DOS is kind of a little bit bigger of a platform there. But
Yeah.
if you look at Septandy, they've had 2 years and we're beating them in the first year. So. I think
Yeah.
the retro computer love is there, especially for the Macs this year.
I think all
So
the Septandy people are lined up outside the new Radio Shacks. They're waiting to get in. They need
they missed
a
it.
new power supply for their Coco 2. They know it's going to be there. Maybe pick up a new satellite dish. Who knows?
Yeah, I know.
It's
They need
Radio
to get their
Shack.
they need to get their Sprint PCS updated.
That's exactly right.
No, all the love to the Tandy people. Really, we love you. But we're not really trying to compare to say we're better than these other things. We're just trying to use that as a benchmark to say
Yeah.
how well did we do? Did we at least achieve some sort of goal here? And I think for the first year, I think we hit the mark. We could have done some things better, I think. I think our outreach could have been a little bit better. We did try to reach out to several of the larger channels to really hopefully get a lot of, hype, get a lot of push out there. But we kind of came up with this idea in what was it, late January? Where it just
Yeah.
was like, we
I
should do
think
this thing.
Yeah, I think we kind of first started talking about it in late January, just as something that based off the success of December,
Yeah,
that it would be like the ideal time to kind of open this up to retro Mac computing.
sure.
And I think initially in the talks it was like, are we going to have enough time to put this together? Are we going to get enough people kind
Yeah.
of engaged by the beginning of March? And I was like, do we want to do it in May? May is the other M month, but I think you were,
Macintosh?
yeah,
Yeah, it
May,
didn't fit.
yeah. Yeah, but I think you were right. Like, let's just launch into it and let's see what happens, because there's a lot of people still working from home. There's a lot of people that are looking for that creative outlet in our community, and this was a great way to kind of connect people that love this topic
Sure.
with an audience with a nice tent to bring everything under.
Absolutely. And if we had more time, I think if we could have gotten the word out a little bit earlier about it, we probably would have had more traction from a larger swath of people, and it would have been an even bigger success. But the upside is because we had such a good launch this year, I think next year is going to be even better, even bigger. Nothing but up from here. So
I think because there were a lot of people. Like if you remember back to the like the planning meeting that we had, kind of in mid-February,
Right.
that there were a lot of people that showed up for that were like, oh great, that's no problem. We'll spread the word and we'll try to get like more things out there. And there were people that contacted us afterward that were like, oh my gosh, I wish that we would have known that this was going on because we would have loved to sit in on this
Sure.
planning. So next year, that's speaking of things we could do better. We'll definitely have to
More
make
people.
sure that yeah, that
Bring in more.
there's a bigger announcement about when the planning meeting is, so that
Sure.
way that people that maybe didn't get in on it last year will have a seat at the table.
I like that. I like that a lot. One of the things that I don't want to say disappointed me exactly, but it followed the typical nerd demographic. Is the majority of folks that participated were men. I would like to see more ladies. I would like to see more people of color. I would like to see more Asian folks participating in this stuff. It's not just a stupid Midwestern white onlys club. Everybody's invited. We have the Macintosh librarian. She's great, but we need more of that. We need more of that representation from across the spectrum, not just a stupid overgrown boys playing with old our old toys from the 80s.
But,
I'm not sure.
That's very true because and that was one of the things in the early days where it's trying to because I know that with some of these other events, if you're not part of that like central planning, that it was sort of like, oh, you're just riding coattails. But with Marcintosh, it was like from the get go, it's like no gatekeeping. Everybody needs to participate, and here's like guides on how to do that. Because with December, it's like a lot of people were just making their own graphic because there wasn't like a centralized repository for things.
Yeah, and I don't know how exactly how we're going to tackle that next year, but I would love to be able to broaden that outreach even more, just to make everybody feel completely welcome in doing Marcintosh. There's the only restriction. I think the only real restriction is don't be lewd and nasty, and we're fine. Do whatever you want. We had people looking at the content that's out there now. We've got people doing Mac stuff on Amigas. Okay. Yeah, as long as it's retro, as long as it's 68K PowerPC type stuff, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I like that. Do you have any other thoughts on what we could do better next year?
Well, again, it's just about like spreading the word, and again, it's the first year, and this is the perfect year to kind of test things and try to make the tent as big as possible, and then the thing. Not that we're bad at this, but the thing that we have to make sure that we do is that that we're receptive for criticism and receptive of what people kind of thought that could have been done better as well. Because feedback is absolutely a gift. If somebody takes time out of their day to tell you that you're doing a really bad job. Sometimes the delivery isn't great, but if they cared enough to come and tell you that, then you should maybe go like, oh, okay, well, how could I constructively change this to be something that'll make me better at whatever I do? So,
now we do have to keep in mind it is the internet. Some people like to complain just to complain, but that's not to say that we're not here to take on that constructive criticism and make things better. Obviously, what we're trying to say is, please don't make this an opportunity to troll us. Thank you. But anyway,
no, and people have been really, really kind, and people have not been trolling McTrollerton about like any of the.
I mean, our email addresses are out there, and I'm not getting any spam, so we must be doing an okay job. Yeah. So, yeah,
that's good. So, hey, speaking of kind of the recap of the successes and maybe kind of things we could do better, it's like on the outreach of things, we did reach some pretty big players in the YouTube content creation market this year.
Yes, we did.
Despite
having such a short time span for that, because these bigger creators, this is their entire job, so they got 3-4 month production schedules, and for them to take any time at all, not that they didn't have, that they couldn't, but they couldn't. You know what I'm talking about. It's hard
Yeah.
for them to listen to two random guys from the Midwest say, "Hey, we want to do this thing, please," and for them to be like, "Yeah, I'll carve out some time for you guys and help the community out," and shoehorn something into their schedule to make that happen is amazing. You know, it just goes to show how cool the creators community is, really. You know, we got Colin from This Does Not Compute did that awesome video,
Yeah, I
tearing
really
down
enjoyed
that tearing down that Mac. Crazy Ken, of course. I mean, he's crazy. He took he you know he made a point to stop making the scam videos for you know a month, a week, a month,
A day.
a day, to you know to drop that wonderful.
It's big biz for his channel, man.
Yeah, I
It's,
know,
I mean,
I
he
know.
can spend, and honestly, that's kind of the thing for a lot of these content creators. Because you're right, they've got like a 3 month production schedule on something, like an LGR video or
Oh yeah.
or a 8-bit guy video. It's there's a week and a half, there's 2 weeks of lead up, and you're waiting on things to come in the mail to get some of these videos out, and you've got this huge backlog of stuff to slam the brakes on to make a video for this like
Yeah.
first year event is really it's very like, on one hand I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that like these guys are taking some time out to do this, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah. It's amazing.
yeah. But I think the one that I did not expect to see as making even like given a shout out is Perry Fractic. It's
Oh yeah, that's right.
it's took a few minutes from PCB to make it. It's tagged in his like 100,000 subscriber video. I was like, wow, that's really great.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Some traction. Thank you, sir.
We got Retro Man Cave. Didn't they drop something as well?
Yeah, they actually dropped Man Cave from their name.
Oh, that's. Oh, I said the wrong words. RMC. Oh my gosh. I
That's
apologize.
all right.
I'm gonna on my version of this. I'm gonna bleep it out.
It's okay. It's one of those things where it's been called that so long. It's really
it's in the
tough.
brain.
It,
Yeah.
it used to be Sam's place downtown where we went and got the best burgers, and then Sam
It's Ike's restaurant and really it's
Sam
Denny's.
sold, and that's yeah.
Yeah.
So it's but yeah, RMC with the on their sister channel, they have like the podcast that they or like vlogcast or whatever you want to call it, where they did a whole section on Marcintosh just recently, just kind of talking about the event and kind of making a little fun of like the Mac community, because I know that he's not necessarily into it. That he's like, I've always seen Macs as more of a like a tool for like desktop publishing and things like that, and all the creative software kind of on the Mac. And I know a lot of us are kind of like, oh, games, like all those early like exclusive Mac games. But it was really cool to kind of see a shout out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do we have any other big mentions?
I would say probably Geek with Social Skills.
Yeah, that's
he's,
right.
He's putting up some good numbers. And I think he did an unboxing video of an Apple IIe card. And I kind of had the same plan that I was going to do some Apple IIe stuff or Apple IIe card stuff during the event. And he put one out there. I think it's got like 4,000 views or something like that. Some of these videos have blown up.
That's great.
I saw the video with the blue scuzzy. How many views?
That's something like 14,000. I don't know how. I am not that interesting. I really not.
It's like what David Murray said, because I went to Computer Reset a couple of months ago, and after that, and this is before the flooding at his house and stuff, and before all the Texas weather and all the crazy stuff that's happened since then.
Yeah, I remember that now.
We went and very kindly showed us his new studio. And I was like, kind of how did this all start and how'd you get this going? And he's like, you know what? I didn't really care until I got like the first 2,000 subscribers. And the only reason I got that is because somebody linked one of my videos off of like Reddit or something like that. And it went viral. So you've got one video that's got like a bajillion views, and that's your window into that alphabet money, I guess. I don't know.
Alphabet.
So
That's
I feel
the
really
dumbest thing
good
they
that I
ever
knew
did.
you
Anyway.
way back when. Way back
Yeah.
now.
Way back now. Yeah, he well, not to get off tangent too far. He also had the benefit of having gotten it in a little bit earlier in the YouTube scene, especially with the retro computing stuff. Now it's everybody's doing it because it's awesome. But
Yeah,
he
it's a lot of fun.
was one of the first, really. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's cool. So what do you wouldn't happen to have a list of favorites you'd like to talk about as far as what was produced during Marcintosh?
I may have such a list.
What do you think? How many do you have? Do you have like two or four or six or how many?
Well, a lot of these things kind of work on the idea of like a top 10. So if I had five and you had five, that makes the magical number of a top 10 list. If it
I
worked for
might.
Letterman, it's got to work for us.
Hey, right here in my left hand. Oh, wait, that's a label maker. Yeah, sure. I think I got five or so. We could put together a poor man's top 10 list.
Right? Do you want to, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do your five and then I'll do my five?
Do you want to
That
alternate?
sounds fair.
Or do you want
Yeah,
to
or
alternate?
we can alternate. That's
Let's
fine too.
alternate. Let's do that. I'll go first because I'm an egotistical jerk.
Okay.
Um,
We're going to
Rochambeau?
Rochambeau for it. Yeah.
Piece.
Oh, sorry.
Paper
oh,
cuts.
paper. Damn.
Okay. Okay.
Ah.
My these are in no particular order. I'm not actually like saying one's better than the other. These are just ones that I found super interesting.
And that's important to
Yes,
point to
we're
point
not-
out. I love all my children equally. I love all my Marcintosh babies equally.
Absolutely.
But it's just that there's some things that maybe specifically speak to your
It tickled
brand of
my
fandom.
fancy, right? Yeah. Yeah, I want to make absolutely sure we're not trying to single anybody out here or saying these are better than anybody else's videos. If you came and you put Marcintosh on it and it was actually about Marcintosh and you're not just stealing the tag, please don't do that. Then you're our top 164 list. We'll call it that. So. The first one that really tickled my fancy was Retro Bites. He had a video called "Is This the Most Obscure Apple Product?" which is one of those wonderful clickbaity but not actually like you wouldn't believe this type of. It was like, well, what Apple product? Let's find out. And it was about the Macintosh application environment on Sun SPARC systems. I didn't even know that existed. He and a couple other people were doing content on this specifically. And what I really liked about the video was his sense of humor. He has excellent production value, and he has a gloriously, deliciously thick accent. Like it's the, I don't know what you want to call it. It's the bacon fat of accents. It's just thick and luscious. It's wonderful. Is there audio on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I saw you laughing, but I didn't hear anything, so I was making sure.
I didn't want to like laugh over you, man.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
It's my
Everybody,
polite Midwestern laugh.
everybody talks over me anyway. It's been happening for 40 years. And besides, the fact that like he has this wonderful like West England. I think it's West England. It's like super. It's chunky. It's yummy. He goes into a wonderful technical deep dive of the Mac app environment. He digs into the functionality and tells a wonderful story about how it actually functions, and how, not to give it away too much about it, but how it was really more than an emulator. It was more like a pre-compiler type of thing and was way ahead of its time, like a lot of Mac products. And of course, it was a delicious failure, because it had such a small market. But it did have a market, and it did do okay in the market that it was aimed for. So I really liked his approach to that topic. He really knocked it out of the park. Something I didn't know about.
It's kind of neat that like all the stuff that Apple was trying to do to kind of increase their base, like in the '90s, where it's it's like, hey, I like the whole thing with them trying to replace the operating system with something from Novell and stuff. It was just what can we do to save this kind of thing?
Tagulant, that whole thing, and
So we're gonna throw a bunch of darts at the wall and just see what we can hit. So, but I would say like my number five or like.
Okay,
yeah,
I'll go from one. You go from five, and we'll meet in the middle.
Oh, okay, there you go. Okay. So my number five would be Easy Wi-Fi for vintage Macs with the old net serial Wi-Fi modem by Action Retro. And I thought this video was really, really great. It's basically a modern Wi-Fi modem there's a number of those products and
Oh
stuff
yeah.
on the market, and there's a million reviews of those products. There aren't many reviews of those products on Mac, and
Hmm.
there's even fewer that go in and show the like mud communities, like multi-user dungeons, and some of these the early days of like multiplayer games online.
Hmm.
And he did a really great job of going through and kind of showing the device, getting things going, showing it on a couple of different Macs and or PowerBooks specifically, and then going out and showing some of these resources and linking you to those online, so that way if you want to try those things, that you could.
Absolutely.
And I thought that it was really neat, and it kind of speaks to me too, because I'm an old BBS nerd, and it even like replicating all of the like AT commands and things like that, that might seem like kind of like, oh my gosh, I had to know all this stuff to just dial the dang modem. That's how it was back in the day,
Yep.
and it was very very nostalgic to kind of watch that. So
Sure.
I made
Absolutely.
that one my number five.
Yeah, I like that. I like that concept too, because you know you can throw Wi-Fi solutions, fake Ethernet connections and all that stuff, but to be able to emulate the original solution, but remove the phone line, because who the heck has lines anymore? But to
Yeah.
remove the phone line from the equation, but still be able to get that original retro feel with modern technology, I think is a wonderful interconnect there. And I think he did a good job of touching on that, especially with the examples, Mud being the great example of, well, why would I want one of these? I can just, it'd be like, well, to get on a multi-user dungeon. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you? You know?
Yeah, if you
So,
never had these experiences, it's fun to maybe just check them out. They may not be your thing, or it might be this gateway into this retro computing thing you never
sure,
considered. So,
absolutely. Well, my next video was by This Does Not Compute Colin, restoring a I almost said Marcintosh. I've been, every time
I know.
since March 1st, every time I go to type Macintosh, there is an R in it.
you got to unlearn.
Marcintosh or
You
Mark.
must unlearn.
Yeah, it's nuts. Anyway, I'm saying it the wrong now. Anyway, restoring a Macintosh PowerBook 145B. Now, what tickled my fancy on this was Colin's excellent professionalism in attacking the subject. He is in 18 minutes. I think the video is like 18 minutes long. In 18 minutes, he tears down, repairs, rebuilds, and puts back together this Mac, going over all of the common pitfalls, issues with it, 3D printing stuff, and doing all these awesome things, while also telling a story, while also getting like Hollywood quality professional video of every step of the way, including that excellent bokeh, that depth of field. I do not know how this guy does this, but can I clone him and make him me? And then he can run my channel, because
So,
it's
so we've
excellent.
established who you want to be when you grow up.
Yes.
I get it. I get
Yes.
it. It's
I want to be a
wonder-
filmmaker.
and I was pretty sure that is Colin's day job. Is that
Yeah.
he has to work in broadcast, or he has to work in the film industry or something like that to kind of have a lot of those skills.
And he's got a voice for it too. He hits literally every little point. And I hate to say it, it wasn't so much for the content itself. I mean, okay, it's restoring a power book, there are plenty of restore videos. It's his direct approach to the subject and his ability to show you every tiny detail perfectly, as concise as possible, without rambling on or getting a bad shot or having things out of focus or whatever. He just nailed it. I don't want to know how long it took him to produce it or how many takes. But if he's like, oh, I did one take in every single one, then okay, yeah, you're a pro. You get all my brownie points. So I really loved that video.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one too, especially the 3D printed hinges and things.
Yes.
And he made a really good kind of thing in that, where I know a lot of people will they'll, if you 3D print it, and they'll like drill a little bit, or they'll sand to get the original. I'm at a loss for words of what the part is, but it's basically the brass fitting that the screw feeds into.
Yeah.
So that part, a lot
Grommet
of
or whatever
people,
you want to call it.
yeah, that they'll sand it out and then put that in there and then glue it or something like that. He hit on like a genius idea, which is, if it's too small, put your soldering iron on there and just push it down in there and just let it melt.
And then it melts right around it, sticks it in place,
Yeah.
can't come out.
I was like, this is genius. I never considered that. So I've already told a couple people that were working on PowerBook Hinge projects. I was like, hey, go watch this. Go watch this because Colin's got a good idea on this. But
Yeah.
my number 4 would be Macintosh Color Classic Mystic Upgrade, Geek with Social Skills.
Yes.
Because this one absolutely is something that I would love to do one day. I have tried in the last like 2 years to buy like a Performa 550 or LC 550 to get like the Color Classic 2 motherboard. So I've been down this path. I've been trying to get some stuff, and I can never seal the deal on finding the person that's got it, that it will ship it, or that somebody doesn't beat me to the punch or something like that. So it was very, very gratifying to watch the video, just because it shows like, hey, like we've got all the stuff and make these mods, and hey, now you're ready to go with your 040 based compact Mac. And I'm a huge fan of the Color Classic. I remember I really, really wanted one back in the day, but they were so short-lived and they were very, very expensive for what they were, with all the limitations. So I mean, eventually I'll get there with one of these videos. I've got to live vicariously through other people till then.
Yeah. That always tends to be one of those how can I put it? One of those rare. I don't even know how to word it. It's like the one that got away. Is that that kind of thing where you're always the great white whale, the Moby Dick or whatever. It's like, I want that. I want that. I want that. I want that. Everybody wants that because it's like, it's really especially important for the retro computing, for newer people who are looking to get into it, because I want a classic Mac, but I want a small classic Mac that also has horsepower, right? And that is a really good way of doing it, because when you go up to any of the Power PC stuff, unless you get a really hard to find and probably broken PowerBook or something, there's nothing small. I mean, I've got a Power Mac 7700 over here that's the size of a small friggin' mini fridge. It's like, it's fast, but it also takes up half my desk. Plus, I have to have a monitor for it, and with the Mystic upgrade with that board, you just slap it in there, and you've got a super powerful color Mac that you can use for just about anything you want. So, yeah, I really like that take on that.
Yeah, and if you compare that with a PDS-based video card, then you've absolutely got the best of both worlds. You've got something that's small, that's portable, that you can take somewhere if you needed to have a portable Mac.
Luggable,
yeah, luggable Mac. But then also the ability to hook up like an external display or something like that. Yeah, that'd be really great. And I'm now writing down another thing I need to add to my eBay wish list. Yes,
eBay
video cards,
notification search.
Yeah, absolutely.
Color Classic LC550. Yep, absolutely.
So what do you got next?
So my number 3 video, and I don't mean to embarrass you, sir. I hope not.
No.
My number 3 video was yours on the Stack of Love MST3K HyperCard stack.
Oh,
thank you. Loved it. I love that video. For those who don't know, who may be watching, you've got to know. I mean, if you're watching this and you know Ron's channel, and you've got to know this. The guy is a Misty, huge Mystery Science Theater 3K fan.
Yeah, I'm easily 350 pounds.
Yeah, there you go.
Huge Misty, huge.
But, he did an excellent job of taking something classic Mac with a subject matter that a lot of people have heard about but don't necessarily know what the heck it actually is, which is HyperCard, digging into how it works, how it's accessible to a whole bunch of people, and tying that in with the wonderful history of the MST3K, the Stack of Love, the HyperCard stack that basically was the Wikipedia for MST3K before Wikipedia existed. It was absolutely excellent. I loved it. You could hear in the love in that video for the subject matter. So
Stack of Love. Even.
Stack of Love. There you go. We have stacks and stacks. I don't know. I was trying to fake an MST3K thing there.
It's all right.
But
And
But
that's very
yeah.
kind. I appreciate that. And I thought that that video was going to be kind of a cool idea just because it's kind of a threefer
Hmm.
maybe, because it's Marcintosh, it's Hypercard, and it's MST3K, Mystery Science Theater 3000, which that's like three separate fandoms of mine, because I was a huge Hypercard kid back in the day, where I would download all these Hypercard stacks and just to like try things out, and or making stacks
Hmm.
and stuff like simple games and all that. I just loved that stuff back in the day. And I was very, very lucky a couple of years ago that the lady who made the stack of love,
Hmm.
which really kind of incorporates a lot of things that would have been available on paid services, kind of like pre-popular internet.
Hmm.
So like things from AOL groups and CompuServe and all that type of stuff, kind of boiling that down into something that people could just very easily and freely access. I was able to do an interview with the lady who made the stack way back in the day, and my co-host on the interview is Disney animator Amy Goff, who actually works on all kinds of Disney projects, and her most recent thing that she's been working on is Disenchanted on
Hmm.
Netflix. So if you're a Simpsons Futurama person who has followed them over to the medieval stuff now, yeah, she works on that show. Super duper lady. And Lynn Seprell, who wrote the Stack of Love, she was kind of nervous to talk to us at first because she was like, are you like lawyers with best brains? I guess she's always kind of worried that people were going to like
Oh,
come back, that there'd be some kind of like
nah.
up comeuppance over this. And I'm
I
like, no, this is an
seriously,
amazing thing. Stop.
yeah. I don't see that happen anyway. They're too nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that's very, very kind. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And I feel like a total jerk because I didn't want to put you on the
Oh,
spot and name one of your videos.
you called out Blue Scuzzy earlier. It's fine.
Fair enough.
So one final question on this video. Can we
Mm-hmm.
now call it the Biff McLarge huge stack of love?
You sure? It's that comes a little bit later because that's more of a sci-fi era thing. But yeah, absolutely. The Stack of Love kind of ends like kind of mid season 6,
Got it.
which would have been like on the Comedy Central days, and
Mm-hmm.
then they did one more season of season 7, only ran for 6 episodes, just because the network was kind of figuring out what it was at the time. Because right about the time Mystery Science Theater ends is right about the time the Daily Show starts.
Mm-hmm.
That's how long it ran on Comedy Central. That it butted up against, and not the Jon Stewart one, but the Craig Kilborn
Mm-hmm.
version of the Daily Show, which was a very different show than the all
Mm-hmm.
the stuff that came after. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
My
so
favorite.
and then
I was just gonna say last thing on MST3K, since I wanted to share this share a little Misty love with you. My favorite MST3K episode is, I do not remember off the top of my head the movie they were parodying.
that's a long movie title.
Yeah. Can I get a badumts in the background? Can I? There
There
you
you
go.
go.
It was the one with oh gosh. I don't remember. Joel, I think, stands up and like grabs the guy's cheeks.
Oh, really?
That one.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
that would
remember
be,
which one it was, what movie it was.
I don't
Space
remember right off the top
something
of my
was the
head.
name of it.
What
It was
was
a
it? Say
really
it again?
bad. It was a really good Japanese movie with a really bad English dub. That's all I remember.
Oh, okay. Well, they did a number of those, but
Yeah.
so that would be probably before like season 4 or something like that, because they finally made kind of a rule
Hmm.
where like they basically said no fart jokes, and like we don't interact with
The screen.
the screen, so that because they
But
had
that's
some
the
things
best
where
part.
I know, and then that's immediately something that they dialed back when they went to Netflix a couple of years ago, where they were like, ah, we'll sneak in a few fart jokes, and there's a big part of it where the characters kind of fly out and do things on the screen to cover up nudity and things like that, because largely the movies were uncut
Yeah.
in the Netflix era. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Anyway,
No.
off tangent.
Anyway, yeah, I was like 10 minutes about that one thing. Thanks,
Sure.
man. Thanks for the plug.
You're welcome.
So, I would say my number 3 video is the fastest Mac Plus ever by Dr. Dave's Diversions.
Yeah, I like that one.
That is a like out the door like March 1st Marcintosh video,
Hmm.
and it hits 2 great topics that I like, because he doesn't really give any away up front. You've had a month to watch it, so I think we can do spoilers here maybe. But it's the world's fastest Mac Plus is an Amiga.
The immediate
So,
throwdown too. He's like, "Oh, by
right,
the way, my Amiga's better than your Mac, but it's from
right.
Marcintosh, so it's all good." But I think it qualifies as a Mac because it doesn't use the Mac ROMs, so
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
close enough.
Well, and there's a lot of those solutions that actually did require, or they would do it through software,
Mm-hmm.
but I think like all the people like with outbound notebooks and things like that, that they do have an adapter where it plugs into the floppy connection. That there's two little dip sockets in there where you put your
Mm-hmm.
ROMs in there from your real Mac. So if the Apple lawyers ever came in knocking, you could say, listen, 100% licensed ROMs. The rest of this, I bought a copy of System 6 or I bought a copy of System 7 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm 100% legal. But I really enjoyed that video just because I really appreciated that we got a lot of early support from
Sure.
people like Dave, and that it covered Amiga stuff too, which I'm not an Amiga person, and I had friends that had Amiga stuff growing up, and when I went through college, we had like an Amiga 4000 with a video toaster, and we had like an Amiga 500 that we would sit there and do like CG stuff with. So like if you did any kind of radio TV stuff, like in your education,
Mm-hmm.
you probably
Yeah.
encountered those machines in those type of environments. But I love it that there was this whole world of fun, cool things where you could have the best of both
Mm-hmm.
on your Amiga and then still do all this Mac stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. He did another video later, where he hacked a Mac mouse to connect to the Amiga.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have a Mac, but let's do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no,
Wow.
I love that stuff. I mean, that's great. Yeah.
So what's your? Are we up to number two? What's your number
Um,
two?
my you mean my number four? Remember, we're doing it that way. Remember.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is
Your
my number
elevator's going
four.
down. Mine's going up. Got
My
it.
four minus two. My four, mine can't talk. Too late in the night. My number four is Shadow Koishi, and Shadow is upside down in his name, so I can't really like say it. But Shadow Koishi's Will It Boot PC MCIA compact flash adapter on a Macintosh power. Awesome little video. This is kind of my
Mm-hmm.
outside of the box entry. I'm always looking for something that is attacking something from that wonderful angle that nobody thinks about before. And so what he's done, I think it's he here. I'm not sure. I'm going to say that. What he's done is that he was reading on a forum that this should be able to be done by using a PCMCIA adapter with a compact flash with the OS put on it in the sidecar to be able to boot from it as if it's a hard drive. But he couldn't find any information that with proof that it had been done. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And he's just like, screw the rules. The rules don't matter. I have this. I have this. I have this. I put together. I do video of it. I prove it. And he went so far as to say, no tricks. Here's the hard drive. It's not in the machine. He boots it up and he shows that the icon for the Mac is a little compact flash icon. So he just does the whole thing, like a little short 15-minute thing, does it and be like, well, there you go. Like it or not, it's doable. I love that. I love that approach when somebody just decides to do the good old-fashioned scientific method. Ask a question, propose a solution, test it, and if it works, there it is. And he did it.
I really enjoyed that too, and I think that
So,
video only just came up like in the last couple of days.
yeah.
So it probably took a little bit of like, gotta wait for some things to come in the mail. That's been my Marcintosh too. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But no, I really enjoyed that one as well.
Yep. And do you have a number one, sir?
Actually, I'm still on two. See, haha.
Oh,
Those
that's
elevators,
right. I'm
we're
ahead
caught.
of you. I started.
We're,
Go ahead. You have
we're
number
caught
two.
between floors now. My number two is top 10 compact Mac games. Best 68K Mac games for the Mac Plus,
Yes.
SE, and Classic by Insanely Gruz.
Yeah, Mr.
And
Gruz.
And if you're not on his channel, he actually recently just split his channel into two. He has like his original channel, it's called Gruz, and he's got Insanely Gruz, which kind of focuses on retro computing. The other channel is all like, here's some cool like or really really strange game genie codes and stuff like that for. So I think he kind of realized that it's like that's got an audience and this other stuff's got an audience. So he started this other channel, and it's a great video because if you have one of those older Macs and you're like, I bought the machine, I recapped it, I bought a SD to SCSI, and now I don't know what to do. Then you can watch this
There you
video, and
go.
it's going to tell you like a whole, like a list of 10, top 10 list.
Hmm.
Weird concept. Um, of all these classic black and white games that you can play on those machines. And
Hmm.
he goes through like some of the big ones, like, everybody's got to get Prince of Persia, and everybody's got to get Shuffle Puck, and everybody's got to get, some of these other games. But I think the thing about his list is the stuff that I was kind of like, oh, he must have been like so on the fence about whether to include this or not,
Hmm.
because he's a big Frankie's Dungeon fan,
Hmm.
or like Wolves in the Woods, or Creepy Castle. It's the same game, three
Hmm.
times. Uh, so that he didn't include that, but it's got great stuff like Glider and all that. So if you like those old black and white map games, and you're like, maybe I haven't played everything, check that video out, because
Hmm.
it's got some great suggestions.
I'm gonna have to. I didn't get a chance to check that video, but I'm gonna have to go back and grab that because, I want to play video games. I'm really bad at them, but I'm willing to try just about any game once. Tetris.
Yeah. Mhm.
Weird aside, what is the thing with Tetris? Why do people like it?
It's very simple. I think it's very accessible. And
Okay.
when Tetris first came out, I think people were just kind of like, "Here's a game anybody can play." That in the very beginning, like that, it's scale. It wasn't.
Hmm.
It wasn't like Mario, where something like 99.9% of all Mario players walk to the right, walk into the mushroom, and die.
Yeah.
uh, like you, it's with Tetris, you immediately kind of get the idea that it's like, oh, I gotta stack these things and make these things kind of fit together. And you may not have like got a Tetris every time where you get like all four rows, but
Hmm.
you at least kind of got the idea of like, I gotta stack these boxes.
Got it. Okay, cool. No, I just weird aside because I'm one of those people who loves to watch video games, but I'm like absolutely horrible at video games. I thought about doing a Let's Play channel before I decided to do my computer museum stuff, but decided very quickly not to because of that. And I'm also not funny enough to make my failures into something you people can laugh at. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, but anyway, no, I'm gonna have to check that video out. There was a don't let me forget some. I want to bring up something later regarding video games. We'll come back to that.
All right. So 10 in
So
it.
I have my number 5, my last video.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Now I'm cheating here, if that's okay. My number 5 is not one video. It's this guy's entire channel.
Mm-hmm.
He goes by the name of Amateur Vintage Electronics, or AVE, but don't get him confused with
The other
AVE,
AVE.
the other AVE, because you might find yourself being sworn at. But the other AVE is actually very interesting too. But no, Amateur Vintage Electronics. I chose him not for the one video, but for the entire channel because he started his channel just before Marcintosh, like a month before, like the middle of, not even the month before, it's like the middle of February. But when Marcintosh came around, he just leaned into it, and he's done nothing but focus on the Mac stuff. That entire month has produced something like 8 or 9 videos back to back to back, like on it. Great prolific amounts of content, and you can see that from the beginning to now, the excellent improvement in quality of those videos. You can see the care and the love and attention that is going into what he's doing. So it's not, it's not for any one thing that he did, but it's for the entire progress. And hopefully that Marcintosh thing has given him some sort of something to aspire to become to latch onto and become better with has been excellent. And the only thing I can say there to that is did a great job and keep it up. And if he's got something like 30 some subscribers, if you guys are watching to this, go subscribe to this guy's channel and watch his stuff and make him a superstar because he is doing an excellent job and I want to see him succeed.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his the one of his later, or I don't know if it's the latest video, but it's one of the newer ones
Mm-hmm.
that kind of finishes up the project where he paints that Mac Plus,
Oh yeah.
where it's got the Apple rainbow logo on
Mm-hmm.
it, and I thought that was really great, and I
He
need
just
the
nails
inspiration
that paint
for
job too. It's
yeah,
perfect. It's like automotive perfect. It's excellent.
yeah, it's got real tight lines on it.
Mm-hmm.
The I need to do something like that with. I've got a SE that used to be like a photographer's
Mm-hmm.
model. So basically, some photographer like painted the screen and then like painted them pastel colors. So it's like
Nice.
I donated a couple of 512s that were painted like that to Kansas Fest.
Yes,
Last
that was
year, or
2019.
year before.
That
Yeah.
was 20. I was there.
Yeah.
I saw those there.
So I donated a couple of those and I kept one. So I need to
Did you
repaint
keep
that
the green
machine.
one?
Yeah, the green one.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there was like a maybe a
It was green, blue, and
robin.
purple,
Yeah. hmm
or pink, or whatever it was. Yeah.
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 So
So
I really enjoyed that.
it's really important though that you make sure that you put a CD-ROM drive or something in the front of it, and you
Oh
paint it
no.
blue.
Oh no. We'll talk about that guy. We'll talk about that. But
But yeah.
my number one video just came out, just in the last day or so, and it's the Macintosh by 65 Scribe. If you're not subscribed to this guy's video or channel, you need to. He makes like some very very funny videos that are. It is so dry. It is the driest of humor, and I really really love it. Um, he has done like a ton of different machines or over the years,
Yeah.
like 4200, so like the cloney kind of machines, and he's done like all the like the Quadro 950s and things like that. And it's sometimes these videos will just like get down in the weeds about stuff that has nothing to do with the machine, and then he'll come back at the end and it'll be like, oh yeah, don't power on. It's like what? So he's sort of like, if this makes sense, he is the Macintosh community's This Old Tony.
Got it.
So if you've ever seen like a This Old Tony video, that style of humor,
That is
it's
excellent.
he's got it, and he'll stick videos in there of like him growing up, where like him and his sister playing like Mac games and stuff like that, and or that they've. It just feels so personal that he's just inviting you into like his hobby. So I really really enjoy his videos. I want to be 65 Scribe when I grow up. When my channel when my channel gets professional, I would love to make content as good as his. And he
That's
doesn't make
wonderful.
stuff very often. I think his last video was like 9 or 10 months ago.
Yeah,
So
he's got
the
one
lead,
every like 1 or 2 a year. It looks like. Yeah.
yeah. So it's when it comes out, man. It's like when you were a kid and that CBS special logo started spinning. It's like.
Yes.
You know, you knew
Absolutely.
that like a Peanut special was going to come on.
The Wizard of Oz is on.
Yeah, it's
Yeah!
the one night a year that Wizard of Oz is on, and you had better not have to go to the bathroom, or you better not be at grandma's, and your parents are like, well, it's getting late, we probably ought to go home, and you're like just your hands are just like clutched into the back seat of the Country Squire, just like yelling at your parents to drive faster so you can get across town so you don't miss the one night a year
Absolutely.
that the Wizard of Oz is on.
Yes. Yes.
Or Mary
Awesome.
Poppins.
What or Mary Poppins? Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Mary Poppins.
So, I think that those 10 people are or those 10 videos do a really good job of exemplifying the cross section of what was out there. Do you have anybody who was kind of on the edge, or somebody you were thinking for your list but got knocked out, or somebody you just want to kind of mention?
Do I have any honorable mentions? I may have a few, sir. I in no particular order. I just wanted to some people that absolutely threw themselves into this, like Europa.
Oh,
made
yeah.
They made a really great video about comparing web browsers under like System 7.6. So that's super handy, especially if you're somebody who is maybe looking to have like that full experience of like actually trying to browse the web on like classic Macs. And Europa has a website that's actually linked off of Macintosh Garden. So there's even a test site that you can kind of go to and see how that goes. Maybe I'll name a couple and then you name a couple. Is that
Sure.
okay?
Yeah,
Or-
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, go
All right.
ahead.
All right. I also wanted to, and some of these were just kind of simple videos that people threw together that speak to Marcintosh, and it's like, oh yeah, I used to sit around and do this stuff when I was a kid. The Marcintosh themed System 6 install.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Enzo A. Person is the channel, but it's Enzo. He's a friend of Logan's from Crazy Tech Reviews. Made this neat video. It's only like a minute or two long, but he goes through a System 6 install and like shows you how to change all the colors on stuff. To
Only
like,
79
be green.
views. How does that only have 79 views?
I don't
Go
know.
subscribe to Enzo's channel.
I know.
And watch the video. Well, we were not allowed to tell you to do that, but watch the video. Watch the
Watch the
video,
video and
as
make
many
your own
times as
decision.
you feel is necessary to sate your delicious need for bright green mac. Go do it.
So,
Yeah,
maybe in a couple of years.
yeah, I'm looking for this other one that I didn't write down. I'm literally looking through the Marcintosh hashtag list because it has to do with video games, and it's the most interesting, weird little video, and I'm hunting for it at the moment. I'll name a couple other ones, and then while you name yours, I'll continue hunting. But
Okay.
let's see here. Yeah, so Crazy Ken Computer Clan,
Yeah.
always a wonderful trip with that guy, especially when he's telling scammers where to put their stuff. But he had a wonderful video on the Macintosh TV. Just the way he dug into it, touched all the right points, didn't dwell too much on any one spot. But what really cinched it for me was that wonderful zoom shot that he got inside the Mac. He actually got he on Twitter. He said, "Well, so I used this lens. So if you want to do that, go get this lens." And that's what's the cool thing about him too, is he doesn't just hide behind the movie magic. He actually tells you how to do it. Excellent video there by him. Also,
I don't want to name drop myself, but I was a source for that video.
really,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I had a piece of insider knowledge that I shared. So
Gotcha. What was the other one? Yeah, another thing that this one's a channel. This is basically Steve, aka Mac84. Basically, as I said before, anything the guy does is just it's sugar to the ears. Is somebody giving you a phone call? Tell them no.
They were. I know. I just sent them away.
Good. No, I'm kidding. But just anything that he touches is gold. He is a wonderfully nice human being. He's worked with me on several other things. I think he's worked with Logan of Crazy Computer.
Yeah,
Videos.
they did that
They
collaboration
fixed the color
video with
classic
the
with the
EEPROM.
ROM, the EEPROM stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just anything he does is absolutely excellent. And if you're watching our video but you haven't, I don't know how you wouldn't have, if you haven't caught his live streams, he likes to do them around 9 or 10 p.m. Late in the week. Go catch those. You can just hang out and just watch him fix computers and these old Macs and stuff, and it's just a wonderful time to just hang out with him, chat, and just experience the process of busted traces and burned capacitors vicariously through him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you watch the 3-hour Branches Creations
Yeah.
stream
And then
with
you
Bruce,
hop over to him.
and then you hop on for the after party. You just see how long you can stay awake.
Yeah. Not that he
That was
puts you to
good.
sleep, it's just because it's so late in the night you end up falling asleep.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I would say if I could share another one here.
Sure.
Probably another honorable mention would be the Cursed Mac series from Action Retro.
Oh, yeah.
My notes literally say, "Oh Lord, where to start? Tech frustration." And it's absolutely
that poor
true because
guy.
that machine has been on the brink of death forever.
Yeah.
And then he just keeps bringing it back and bringing it back, and it is the weirdest little SE30.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be one of the most fascinating SE30s that's out there. Here's the funny thing. I almost, was that on eBay or something like that? Somebody posted it somewhere, and it was up for sale, and I was thinking about buying it, but he grabbed it before I did, and I'm glad that he did, because he has done that thing so much justice that I never would have been able to do to that. Just absolutely wonderful job that he has done with every absolute disgusting problem that poor old thing has thrown at him. He does not give up. He's just gonna keep doing it until it falls over dead or it kills him, one or the other. So I'm still looking for my next honorable mention. I'm trying to find it. It was about, because I want to give this person the credit it's due and the shout out that they desire. And I'm looking at the Marcintosh list here, and I swear that they have pulled it from the list because it's not there anymore and I can't find it. But basically, they did a video of for the first time in something like 30 years, getting an old multiplayer game working on classic Macs and then going out on the internet and playing that game against a whole bunch of random people.
Wow.
I'm trying. Man, I really wish I could find it so I could call it out. Here
I
it
wish
is.
you could too. 'Cause
I found it. Rec Center. Only 55 views. Folks, go subscribe to this guy and give him some love. First internet game of Bolo in 2 decades. Basically, it's a little bit like a combination of Rampart, if you remember that game, but not turn-based. It's like Rampart meets Combat from the Atari 64. And it was originally designed to work on just a local talk, Apple Talk network. But he worked with somebody who helped reverse engineer it or something like that, and they created a TCP/IP version of it, so you can just literally play it over the internet over an internet server. And I'm like, yeah, cool. So if you're there's another video game reference for you. If you like video games, you can jump on their server and play that game. So I thought that was really nifty. A way to have that local talk kind of old school game vibe, but you play it on something new and modern. So I thought that was
absolutely.
neat.
I got 2 more. I'll do them real fast because
Sure.
I know we've got some other stuff we need to wrap up on before the video goes too much longer. I wanted to give a shout out to the Macintosh librarian.
Oh, yeah.
She has a video that's not specifically Marcintosh. It's about the history of MEC and Apple in schools and how Apple kind of incentivized grade schools and stuff to buy Apple II machines. I just love like the character of Mackie.
Oh, Mackie.
I like her librarian.
Mackie is my
character.
heart.
So this is the video that inspired me to go out and contribute to your Patreon and stuff like that, just because I'd like to see more more of this content in the future. And I think she's starting to branch out maybe and do some like tech repair videos and stuff too. So I'm excited to see where the channel's going, so I'm kind of following it. So honorable mention, not specifically Marcintosh, but super this really neat new Macintosh thing that's going on because of Mackie. Everybody loves Mackie. And then
She needs to sell Mackie plushies like yesterday.
I was like, that would be really neat, but those darn Apple lawyers.
Oh, as long as she didn't put the logo on it like Throwboy did.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, she can do it.
Yeah. And then the other one was 8-Bit Show and Tell did a video. This is kind of Apple adjacent, maybe in a way, or Macintosh adjacent, because he did a Lisa 2 video. It shows like it is the best Lisa 2 video that I've seen. It's called Apple Lisa 2 Inside and Out. And it basically is just like a teardown of the Lisa and power supply, and talks about like some aftermarket profile emulation devices and things like that. I just thought it was a really neat video. It's about 40 minutes, but it just like sucks you in. So that's definitely a fun one.
Well, Lisa 2's a Mac XL. It technically qualifies. It's fine.
Sure. Those big rectangular pixels.
There you
Why
go.
not? No
4x2.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, what do you think about Marcintosh as a whole? What do you think we should do moving forward with Marcintosh?
Well, if it's anything like the Brady Bunch, Marcintosh 2022 is going to take place in Hawaii. And you got to make sure not to be alone, because you don't want the spiders to get on you. You don't want the lava to get near you. What was it all? I can't remember all the bad stuff that happened to Greg and Bobby because they had the Tiki Idol. But I would love to see Marcintosh continue. And I really think that based on the traction this year, I think that we'll get hopefully some people that come back next year. We'll broaden the tent as much as we can and try to get even more people contributing.
Absolutely. I'd love to see. I'd love to, like you said, broaden the tent. I'd love to see some big top stars come in and do some stuff, even if it's just one video to show, hey, yeah, we love our Macs, we love that, and to be able to then use that to inspire some of the other creators who maybe aren't as popular but have a story to tell about the Mac. To come out next year, next March, and really grow this thing to be, what's the Pink Floyd? We can turn this thing into a monster if we all pull together as a team.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So and demonetized. No, but I really think that with the extra time that we have available now, we've got a year. We can maybe get some of these other wonderful content creators that we all know and love to come on board and make it an even betterer thing. So.
Yeah. Who's your big get for next year?
Oh, it's got to be David Murray. Obviously, we got to get him. We
Mm-hmm.
got to get him to do something.
I think,
I'd love to see
yeah.
Adrian
Mm-hmm.
Black, Adrian's Digital Basic Basement do something. I just don't think either of them really had the time. Is really what it is.
Yeah. I think a lot of those big guys, like we said earlier, their production schedule is so long. Dave Murray
Yeah.
right now is in the middle of cleaning up
Oh
after
yeah, I mean he's all
Texageddon.
yeah.
So
Absolutely, absolutely. Who would you like to see next year?
I think the thing that I would love to see is LGR, just because he's sort of
Oh
the
yeah.
Clint is the progenitor of the Dawsember sort of
Yes.
hashtag. So I think it would be neat to see him do a Marcintosh video.
Sure.
But honestly, I think my big get are going to be some of the cool people that I already know in the Mac community who, for various technical reasons, maybe weren't able to make as much content as they wanted to.
Sure.
I know that Logan, I brought him up a couple times with Crazy Tech Videos. He had drive crash, and so he lost a bunch of his content that he'd been working on for the event. So the big get next year, I'm going to put Logan's name at the top just because I know he had a bunch of really cool ideas, and just through circumstances beyond
Didn't
his
his
control.
drive crash in the middle of a live stream too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a 51-second live stream, poor guy, and it just went, and that was the end of it. And
Yeah.
he's lost tons of awesome stuff. Yeah, I really do hope to see him next year. I hope he at least has his ideas written down so he can just do them next year. So yeah.
Yeah. And there's nothing stopping for people from doing things during the year and then like expand on it in Marcintosh.
Sure, absolutely.
So there's nothing like you kind of came up with the idea for shorts where it's so you don't have to do a 30-minute video that requires like 2 hours of editing to make a contribution. I mean, it
Absolutely.
could be like what I was talking about the System 6 theme. I think the video is like 2 minutes long, and it's just a live stream of like, hey, do this, click this, do that, hey, you're done. So little things
Yeah.
like that.
Absolutely, I like that small form of content as well, the Vine ready kind of, or the TikTok like ready
Yeah.
content, because it's a completely different format that you can get across a different idea, a different scope of something, and it's really accessible. Yeah, I'd love to see more of that as well next year.
Final thoughts.
Oh gosh, well, I had hoped that Marcintosh would be a big hit, but I didn't set my expectations too high. Because not to self-deprecate, but I'm just this guy, and you and I just came up with this idea out of nowhere. We're not really celebrities or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination. But the fact that we were able to put that out there and had the right contacts with the right people. I'm important. No, that's not what I mean. But just being able to be in the right place at the right time, talk to the right couple of people, get that word out there. Maciac promoted it. It was all over all the Facebook stuff. Then we had Ken come out and do a video, paraphrastic with the name drop, so to speak. Allowed it to be a lot more popular than I expected, I suppose. And it's just blown me away what the community has put together, from big names to small names, from people who have never put together a YouTube video before to folks who are just starting up to folks who have millions of views under their belt, all coming together to say, hey, Tandy's cool and DOS is neat, but the Mac is cool too. So let's do something about Macs. So I think that's really awesome, and I'm really looking forward to next year being an even bigger event. I'm really proud of all my kids and everything you did. I hope I brought you up well. So
I tried to have reasonable expectations about how this was going to go, and kind of in the first few days of the month, I didn't want to produce like a ton of videos and stuff, and kind of like, because it's very easy to be like, oh, I planned this thing, or I was on like the ground floor with this thing, and now I'm gonna like suck all the air out of the room. So it took me until later in the month to kind of start like producing content. So I've been doing like a couple a week now, just here at the end for like the big push out the door. But I'm so impressed with the people that just like flew in on day one and had videos like Dr. Dave's and Logan did some video
Europa's
stuff.
video content was out there right out the gate as well.
Mac 84 with stuff and branches like being so kind, or I'm sorry, I should Sorry, I should just say his real name. Uh, but like all the mentions in the live streams and things like that, it's just been really, really appreciate. I
Mm-hmm.
just really, really appreciate all the love that the events got from the community. I appreciate your time and expertise. Uh,
Expertise.
yeah, Steve put the website up
Yes,
and things like that.
yeah.
So
Special mention to Steve. Yeah,
yeah,
he's just like, yeah, I'll put together a website, and he had it done the next day.
yeah, it was
The
like, all right,
guy's
it's ready.
yeah,
Start
he's
spreading the word.
awesome. Hmm.
Share the links. It's like, all
And then
right.
he did the retro version too. That
Yeah.
if you guys haven't seen it, Marcintosh.com, retro.marcintosh.com, you can get to from any Mac. It works. It's magic. So,
It's that old school HTML. So yeah, I'm really, really thankful from the community, and I just appreciate everybody's time and their patience and their
absolutely.
expertise. So I think this went really, really well,
I think we
and
need
I
to.
can't wait until next time.
Yes.
So probably in a few weeks or something, we might need to get together with the community and just have a bigger kind of like, like ruminate on kind of what was good, what was bad,
Hmm.
and try to get people hooked in for next year again as well. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just want to make it absolutely clear that even though Ron and I came up with the idea, it's everybody's month. It's
yeah.
everybody's
Mhm.
idea, and everybody who contributed to it are what really made it happen. We just told people use the Marcintosh tag, have fun, but
Yeah.
it's all the you content creators out there who came together to put this stuff together to make it actually happen. I can't thank you all enough for
I
how
think
awesome you made it.
What Joe is trying to say is you the real MVP.
Yeah, there you go.
If I can quote a meme, you the real MVP.
Absolutely.
But well, I guess we can wrap this on up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody was really, really great. Kind of getting together. Joe, thanks for taking time out of your evening to kind of do this wrap up video for the event.
Sure,
So
no problem.
we have a whole day to post it
Yeah.
to get it posted. So
It's not
but
like I
this
was
is
doing anything the next couple days. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, it's not like I'm gonna do anything between now and midnight as I edit the video. So
Well,
all
there's
right.
no editing. You just stick it up,
I
right?
know. Yeah, you put your bumper on the front, your bumper on the back, and that's it. You got it. You got a video. So
Absolutely. Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed our Marcintosh event and our little rumination and reminiscing over this month. We hope that we'll have an excellent and double or triple the size Marcintosh next year. So keep an eye out on our channel and on all the channels that are on that hashtag on YouTube and everywhere on all of the social medias because it's coming back, baby.
yeah, see you in year two.
See ya.